guys, let's have a drink.
That was a good fucking movie.
Welcome to the spoiler section. That was a really good movie. And Joe, I totally understand how it could be a 10 out of 10, and I really did want to give it a 10 out of 10.
Honestly, it's not really a conclusion, though, because the assholes at Marvel said that this isn't the conclusion of this act. They said that...
What?
This
is the conclusion, Alex.
I mean, they said I agree with you. I think it should be, but Kevin Feige said that Spider-Man: Far From Home is the last chapter in this segment.
No, it's not. You're wrong. You're absolutely 100% wrong.
I just looked this shit up.
It's Endgame. It says Endgame.
Endgame is not the last chapter in Phase 3 of the MCU. Spider-Man: Far From Home.
I thought Spider-Man: Far From Home was the start of Phase 4 or whatever it's called.
I mean, I think it should be, but that's what
Okay, that's so confusing.
Everything on the internet is true.
How dare they shit on Endgame like that? Because this is a perfect conclusion. We just
perfect conclusion.
Yes. Damn it.
Okay, so Alex, tell me. Let's just jump right into why this film didn't get a 10 out of 10 because it has the capability of it.
And I will argue with you.
Okay, let me throw my first one out here.
Go ahead.
My first one that I was referring to is I don't necessarily like the time travel stuff.
Oh, for sure.
I was hoping that they would find a different way to go at it. And they used...
you called it on the trailer.
Oh, you definitely said
I did.
that.
Thank you, Joe. Thank you. Just those white suits. Anytime there's like super advanced tech suits, I'm like, oh shit.
They're going back
we knew that
they're
Ant-Man
walking into some kind of time machine.
Ant-Man was not going to shrink and go up Thanos' butt and then
hey, that was because Thanos trained. I saw him.
He was doing kegels.
He was doing kegels. Instagram. He's like, I'm training.
Clinch.
But yeah, so the time travel to me is so messy.
It was messy here.
Like, why don't you just go back in time when Thanos is a little baby and fucking murder him?
I love that scene.
They addressed it. What did they say?
They're like, well, why don't we just go back and then kill him whenever he's a baby? He's like, first of all, that's fucked up.
No, it's not. It's Thanos. He said, I even love that line. But it's Thanos.
Yeah. It's like, no, because once you mess with that, then it changes everything else. It's like, so you're telling me Back to the Future was all bullshit?
Yeah.
Yeah, Back to the Future and Terminator and Time Cop and...
That it would just lead to Thanos, another guy, you know, is that kind of what they were referencing?
Yeah, they were referencing.
That it wouldn't work. You have to do it. So that's why, and now we get an in-canon explanation for why a lot of these time movies don't go back really, really far. They go back to where they can try to get things together. Things are already in motion. But still, you have to buy that. That's already kind of a weak explanation.
That wasn't even the first one that I had to buy.
That wasn't even your two things?
The first one was that Thanos is sitting in the Garden of Eden hanging out, and he's like, you know what I did? I destroyed the Infinity Stones. Why?
I loved...
why? He's just sitting there going, nah, I don't like him. Smash.
I can tell you right now, but I can tell we're already going to clash because I don't think I've ever changed Alex's mind on something. The reason why he smashed them, Alex, is because, first off, he had one... Thank you, Joe. He had one purpose. His job is complete, and his job is actually not complete until he destroys the stones because there is a possibility that when he's super old and he's like 89, right? So that's the reason why. That's not a plot hole.
The only way that they find him is because 2 days ago on this weird planet, we found him because he smashed the Infinity Stones. And then the next plot hole that I had a real big problem is they go back in time and Nebula is like hanging out, and apparently her Wi-Fi is like really, really good. She collapses, and then not only does she collapse, but like she has like this memory that's not a real memory, starts playing in front of Thanos, and he goes, "Wait a minute." Yeah, she starts
playing. You're my only hope. Thanos, you're my only hope.
So she starts playing this weird memory. So the two Nebulas are connected in some way, and not
that part makes sense.
Well, not only are they connected, but then she collapses and shows Thanos, and so that the whole movie is based on Thanos knowing that they're traveling back in time, and then him going forward in time, and that scene is so stupid. Yeah. Even someone who loves these types of movies, that scene is so stupid that I was like, this may be what sucks me out of the movie. They got me. They got me again.
Because it's.
But I love the movie. But
because the character moments are so good.
But if we were like Siskel and Ebert sitting here, and they're just like, nope, that's stupid. I'm out. I understand.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's called suspension of disbelief.
Yeah,
and when something's very, very strong and dumb, then it will knock you out of the film. That's why there was no moment like that in Infinity War for me, other than the fact that really, if you had these gems, you could do fucking anything. You could do more than a planet being thrown down, right? But that's just visual and complexity and trying to film something that makes sense, right? So I forgave it. But when something like that happens where Nebula's like, well,
the whole movie hinges on Thanos traveling forward in time. If he does not travel forward in time, there is no movie.
He travels forward in time within 1 fucking second, right before they click, or no, they do click, and then he transforms. But then his ship somehow grows from a tiny ship to a huge ship.
Well, that's
or
what
was
happens.
it already a huge ship?
No,
and then
because
it
that's
was
what happens. Because like they had their own ship in his hands. So.
Oh no, that's right. Because it did come from the
quantum realm.
Quantum realm, where everything's tiny.
Here's the
in
thing: I do kind of agree with Alex, because like I liked how everybody split. Like they were like, "Hey, we all gotta collect these stones," so they split up, and like everybody had like they were trying to get the stones, and then something happened. I was like, "Oh, there's some tension going on," but it wasn't like some kind of like disbelief. Like it's like, "Oh, I see what's going on."
Yeah.
It's like just like incidents happens. Like accidentally Hulk hits Tony Stark when he actually had the test.
Yeah, there's a lot of like Loki's apparently alive now because he captures the Tesseract and goes forward in time, so Loki can come back in further movies. There's a lot of things that are tropey where it's like, oh, the heroes are about to do this thing.
Where is Loki? Because he captured the Tesseract and he left.
He's alive again in the universe, and so he can come back in further movies, and he can be, the antagonist in the Guardians of the Galaxy 3.
Okay, so the film starts. Let's go through it a little bit by bit here, because it's so good. I was very surprised that we kill fucking Thanos right away. Like, I was like, well, we don't do it right away.
Pretty quick, though.
It was the first battle. I'm like, yes, here we go. Because here comes Captain Marvel, right? And Captain Marvel is the one that saves Tony Stark. He's in space with Nebula, and they're playing little paper football. And I love this character moment because she's a villain. And did you have fun? I had fun.
Like,
I had fun.
I win?
Yeah,
it's like she's never won before.
And so I thought it was actually going to be Pepper Potts to rescue them as rescue, but it shows up, bright light, it's Captain Marvel. And I was like, okay, that's fine. And she brings the ship over, and then the Avengers run out and they get together. And a lot of the trailer stuff was not in the film. Like, there were some moments that she was talking with and that wasn't in the film. Mm-hmm. And but that might have been the end of Infinity War that I'm thinking of. Or no, the end of Captain Marvel that I'm thinking of. But anyway, they go right away. Well, you didn't have me. Okay, let's go fight Thanos. And they're like, no, we fucking lost, and we got to find another. No, you didn't have me. But they buy her. They buy it. They're like, let's go do it.
Yeah.
And they go to where they find Thanos, and they fucking kill him right away.
Yeah. Because he had destroyed the stones.
He destroyed the stones, and
2 days earlier.
They did ambush him, and Thor chops his fucking head off.
Yeah.
And that was a crazy moment because Thor's
what?
like, why did you do that, or what happened? And he's like, I went for the head. I went for the head this time, which is a callback to when he's like, you should have gone for the head.
They had great callbacks.
Great callbacks, right? And I buy it because Thanos has fucked everything up, and it fucked Thor up really bad. And so obviously Thor wants his revenge. He doesn't give a fuck whether he's going to tell him where the gems are. No, Thor believes the gems are gone. Cut your fucking head off.
Well, yeah, because Nebula's like,
he's a lot of things, but he's not a liar.
Mm-hmm. So now we have to figure out. But here's what I didn't like is that I was hoping to see Captain. I know this is going to get taken in the wrong way, but I really badly wanted to see Captain Marvel get her fucking ass beat. I mean, destroyed. Because every other hero has had.
She got destroyed in this movie.
She
got hit so hard, I thought she died.
No, she got knocked the fuck out.
She got fucking thrown, but that was not a fight.
So he absorbs the Power Stone and hits her so hard, you don't see her until the funeral, the last bit of this movie. I'm like, holy shit, he killed her.
Okay, and then I thought it was going to be a drag-out fight. What I'm saying is it's just one quick moment where they fight, but it's like a few seconds, and he's realizing she's kind of getting the upper hand on him, which is, showing, that power level is more powerful powerful than Thanos.
I thought it was very.
Thankfully,
it was done very tastefully because
Yes.
like everyone's like, "Oh, she better not do this." and
Right,
this.
right, right.
Yeah.
But she went
So
in
were
there,
you happy with it?
Yeah, I was
Okay.
completely happy with it.
Because you're right. She's
She
not more
held her
powerful than
own,
the Infinity
But then all of a
Gauntlet.
sudden, she got her ass.
All right,
whooped.
back to the
Yeah.
story so they know what's happening because there's a lot of people that watch these things that don't ever watch the movie. Will.
need-
Really?
Oh,
Like
God.
Will, yes.
All right,
need
go
to
ahead.
watch
You
the movie.
pick it back up.
So after they kill Thanos, 5 years later happens. They're just like, we can't save everybody. And so they're like,
like that, too.
Steve's in a support group. Ant-Man, like a rat saves Ant-Man, which I thought was
Okay,
real
I would like
cheesy.
to say this.
Yeah,
I want to say
yeah,
this.
I
You
knew
realize
that's
that
gonna
the real
happen.
hero of the film is
a rat.
Shredder. That fucking rat.
Master Shredder.
Master Shredder saved the
He's
Marvel
DC.
Universe. Oh, yeah, you're right. No, wait, no.
You mean
Yeah.
Splinter? It's
Oh,
Splinter.
he
Splinter.
is.
Master Splinter is
Splinter.
DC.
Splinter. Shredder. Splinter.
That's the other guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, but yeah, I honestly I did like the whole 5 years later because like everybody was dealing with it, like trying to move on,
And no one was dealing with it
and
well.
like a callback. You see Captain America doing PSAs. Now he's leading a group. It's like, hey, how was your day? And like,
Yeah,
he's like,
everybody's
I went on
run
a date,
ragged.
this and that.
Scarlet
good.
Witch, not Scarlet Witch, but Black Widow. You know how she went blonde, and you could see she grew her hair out. She never redyed her hair because it's her natural color, and you still got the blonde tips. And she's kind
She's
of like
barely holding it
she's
together.
barely holding it together because she's in this power responsibility of
And I
the
really
Avengers.
She's the new
like
Nick
that.
Fury.
Yeah, I
Exactly,
like that,
basically,
too.
and I like that too. I thought that was fantastic, but. I want to jump ahead. ahead.
No.
We're not
Stop.
gonna recount the whole fucking story.
10?
Let's talk
A 10?
about
No.
the character deaths.
10?
It's going to go
No,
down.
it's not 10, Joe.
You're a
It's
fool.
I'm a fool. What did you guys think when we were going for the Soul Stone? So they put them into 3 teams. Okay, fuck it. We'll go in order. Fucking Scott Lang comes out of the goddamn.
Yes.
Master Shredder saves Scott Lang. He comes out and says, hey,
Splinter.
maybe we can make a time machine through the quantum realm, which was kind of stupid, but they did it. And then they go back in time. They split into teams saying, oh, you go back to 2012 during Avengers 1 because the Mind Stone's there in the staff. The Tesseract is there because it's
In
the
New-
Tesseract.
it's like
And
three
the
in New York
Time
or
Stone
something.
is also there because
Yeah.
for no reason, because the Time Stone is there, but the Time Stone shouldn't be there because
They needed to make a movie. Okay.
they needed to
moving
make
on.
a movie. And then they send Black Widow and Ronin.
Okay, so let's talk about that one for the Soul Stone. And we all know
I knew about it, but I forgot about
you
it.
forgot that
You
you
forgot-
demanded
I
a
knew-
sacrifice,
I knew,
Joe.
but I forgot.
How the fuck did you forget
I
about
knew,
that?
but I forgot.
The second when I saw these two, and I loved the way these two reconnected. It felt like
they were fighting over
original.
who to commit suicide.
It
was
felt so good, like from the original Avengers, because they had that good rapport, and that was one of the shining parts of that film. And it pays off here again. They have this rapport and this friendship and respect with one
Yeah, it
another.
was fucking amazing.
They
'cause,
fight
like,
to see who
Hawkeye
commits suicide.
recruited her.
yeah.
And
it
I'm
was
like,
fucking great.
I go over to my girl. I was like, Black Widow has a movie coming up, so just saying. You know,
It's gonna be a
who's gonna
prequel.
die? It's what I thought, right?
That's what I was telling him because
Right.
like he,
Prequel,
we
not.
But it better not
Yes.
be a prequel because I ain't gonna go see it. What's the
No,
fucking point
that's
of seeing
exactly
it
what
now?
we're thinking
So,
about, too.
anyways, it looks like Ronin, or rather Hawkeye, is going to win. But at the last minute, she basically forces, they fall together, and he has to use
She did
his
a grappling hook.
she did the grappling hook, and then
attached
he
it to
grabbed
him.
her. And then he just says, she says, let me go, and she
Yeah, 'cause
kind of pulls back, actually.
He had a family, man.
He had a family,
Yeah,
and she
so-
didn't.
She didn't have anybody. She didn't know who her
Well,
family
here's the
was.
thing.
She's like, well, what was it? Red
Let's
Skull
see if
is
you get
like,
there, Joe. Go ahead.
because Red Skull is like, well, yeah, well, who's this guy? He's like, well, she told me who my father was. I didn't even know who my father was.
Yeah.
So you had no family or anything. So.
Yeah.
No, she did have a family. That's where I was hoping you were going with it. The reason why she sacrificed herself was her family was the Avengers.
Yeah.
Well, yeah,
And she's like,
I
if I'm
get
going to...
that.
Okay,
No,
well,
I
I don't
get
know.
that.
I was like, that's why she sacrificed herself, because she's like, all right, fuck it. If I can save the Avengers...
No, yeah, they're a team. I get that, but like, she didn't have a real family.
But that's a
if
real
they
family,
if they
like-
succeed, he gets a wife and 3 kids.
Yeah,
if they
that's
succeed,
what's
she
going
gets a bunch of
Everybody gets to live.
Yeah.
And so she sacrificed herself, and when you see Scarlet Joe on that ground, like that affected me more than Gamora. I don't know why, because I guess I didn't spend so much time with Gamora as I did with the Scarlett Johansson character, and she's a human, right? Versus Gamora. So I was thinking Galactic Gamora can find a way to come back.
it
But
also-
is Scarlet fucking
probably-
dead? Is
she's
fucking
dead.
Black Widow dead
So
now? What the fuck?
The reason that like the Gamora death for me didn't work as much is because I knew that there was a film coming afterwards. It's like,
Right.
oh, they'll find a way to bring her back. And now when she died here, it's like, man, there's
That's
no
what
there's no
sucks.
film coming after this
Yeah.
for her. Like
There is.
if-
It's called Black Widow, and I thought it's on the
but
docket.
it's a prequel. It's going to be
I know,
beforehand.
but that punches and takes
yeah,
a
that's
lot
what-
of the steam out of
well,
that
the
film
problem,
for
I
me.
mean, like there's a Spider-Man Far From Home coming out immediately after before we saw
Hey,
this movie.
that one is fine because he's fine. He even embraces his friend
But
when he goes back to
that's
school.
very
But I
much
didn't know that 5 hours ago, a couple hours ago, I didn't know how this movie was going to resolve, and
All
so
right.
it kind of cheapened everything,
Right.
knowing that Lucky is back and Spider-Man's back, but in the Spider-Man Far From Home stuff,
Stay
like,
out there
Moving on,
forever.
I'm
Yeah.
taking control of this because I don't want it to be 3 hours. You know what? Fuck it. Let this be 3 hours.
yeah,
All
3
right.
hours long.
Anyways, so we'll let this be 3 hours now. Thor. I thought this was so hilarious.
I loved it.
I
They
loved
fucking
it.
turned Thor into the dude.
the dude, it was
Come
amazing. He was
on.
wearing Crocs. He was like wearing
From
the
the
dude
Big
sweater.
Lebowski.
Yeah.
He was the dude. He was wearing the same fucking outfit
Yeah.
too. And you know what? Tony Stark does make the reference. He's
Oh,
like,
for sure.
"All right, Big Lebowski.
All right,
He's
Lebowski,
like,
so, like, cut
let's
it
go."
off.
And he's fat as fuck. He's got a beer belly just like me. And I was like, "All right, a hero I can look up to." No.
Yeah.
But he's hanging out with who is it? Korg and the little beetle dude.
That's
Yeah.
another reason why I gave it a fucking 10.
I
Fucking
loved
Korg
it.
was back there, and they were playing Fortnite. It's like, hey, this guy's calling me an asshole again. And then Thor takes a mic. He's like, hey, you call my friend a fucking asshole again, I will go to your house and fucking destroy you.
Yeah, but little
like-
kid be like, "Fuck you too, bitch." You know, he doesn't know it's
he's
Thor
like,
on the
oh,
other end.
thank you, Thor. And he continues playing. That was- I
Yeah.
fucking
It
love
was such a
Korg.
great character moment. 10 out
That
of
gag
10.
was really good the first 5 times. But the
I
problem
didn't
is
think they'd keep his beer belly the whole film, but guess what?
The
He's a beer belly the
entire
whole
But
film.
what was he gonna do? He can't just
I
get
thought
rid
maybe
of
his
it.
mom was gonna be like magic, or he was gonna
No,
work out, or I don't
no.
fucking know.
Well,
But
I didn't want him to be like necessarily skinny, but like at the same time, they kept poking fun at him the entire film.
Because he was fat.
But
Yeah,
you know
he
what?
wanted-
As an actor, I fucking loved it. As an actor, on behalf of Chris Hemsworth, I think it was fun to challenge his acting abilities. Just something new that,
Yeah.
okay, now I'm this fat, slob hero.
Yeah.
Right? And I
'cause
thought it was
he-
well done.
Because every character was dealing with something different after 5 years, and he was dealing with like alcohol.
Well, he felt it was his fault because he had
Everybody,
the ability to
everybody
be
felt like it was.
well
their fault.
more than anyone because he had the ability to be head Thanos, and he's just like, hey,
didn't
yeah,
take-
you did it. You didn't go for the head, and he's like,
and he was
oh
responsible for everybody's death,
shit. Yeah.
essentially.
So he took it harder than everyone else, which I liked. And then they made fun of him, which I liked. But then there was like
rammed
serious
it into the
there
ground.
was serious scenes where they're like, oh hey, by the way, you remember Thor is fat?
Yeah.
Oh, but
What
it's
about
funny,
this-
right? It's funny, right?
you-
Thor is fat again. It's
Got
funny,
it,
right?
got it.
It's
What
funny,
about his
right?
mother-
It's funny. Get off. It's funny.
They didn't do it that many times. Alex.
It was. They did a
They
lot
did.
of time. It
No,
was
they
3
didn't.
hours of them being
It would
like.
have been cheesy. He was like, "Oh, 6-pack." No, it's realistic.
I mean,
No,
realistic.
I agree with that.
He
Joe.
has like a 12 and a half pack. All right.
He's
Okay,
still
so what'd
fat.
you think about the mother?
That
The
she
mother
was a
character.
witch?
They explored the fact that his
yeah.
mother
I like
died
Rene
on
Russo,
that
yeah.
particular day, and Thor was
I
like
thought it
this
was-
little crybaby and bitch, and he was just emotionally broken until his mother embraced him and saw him, and she saw right through his bullshit. You're a
it's
time
like,
traveler.
Yeah, she's
You're
like,
from-
"Hey,
The
I
years
was
have not-
raised with witches, so like I know."
eat a salad.
everything's
Yeah.
going on.
Also, the years have not been kind to you. It's just like, oh, that's perfect.
Yeah,
That's
so-
perfect.
And what she said to him was great.
So that character moment for Thor, I thought was great. It's done differently than what we get for Captain America and what we get for Tony Stark. Thor was treated as a joke, and honestly, I think Thor as a joke works better than Thor seriously. If you look at the tone
For
of the first
sure.
Thor films, he's taken too seriously. You look at the tone of the Thor films that we gave a 10 out of 10 to, he's treated like this. And so I thought this was a natural extension of this new style of Thor, and I liked it. Now, moving on to Captain America, as soon as he whips out his pocket watch and he has his old flame, his love on there, I was
What is
like,
it?
he's gonna
Carter, yeah.
he's gonna stay in some timeline, and I knew it was over. I knew it was over for him
Yeah.
because they're foreshadowing that he's gonna get the girl at the end.
That's
And
good.
what happens, Joe?
He waited 70 years
He got
for
the
that
girl.
first date.
Mhm.
Let
He
the
didn't-
man
he
have
didn't
his
wait
date.
70 years. He woke up and had missed 70 years.
It's not, it wasn't his fault.
Same thing. So he
I
goes
was-
back in time after they
right.
defeat Thanos. Somebody has to restore these stones in their individual timelines or areas, or else those universes will fall apart and all.
Yeah,
those
because they
people
need their
will
stones
die.
to protect each other. Yeah.
Right, or no, to protect
The timeline
The
or
timeline.
something
Yeah.
like that.
And so while he's doing that, it's an instant for us, but it's as long as however he needs for him. So he could have
It was
been
like
doing.
5
We could
seconds
see
for
a
us
future
and-
Captain America film with him going on that adventure, putting all those stones back, but probably not. And he goes, and now and when he comes back, he's not back. But he actually is, because he knows where y'all are at, and he's sitting on this bench. And you look from behind, I'm like,
old as
oh
fuck.
shit, is he the one
The little
without the
skinny
muscles,
ones?
the little
Yeah.
skinny ones? And technically he is. He was like,
He's old now.
he was
Yeah.
he was like 80 years old and shit, and he was old at the end of his life. And what happens? This shocked me.
Really?
Yeah, it shocked me. I thought Bucky was going to take over.
yes.
So he's obviously not Captain America anymore. Well, he is, but you know what I'm saying. And he's got the shield with him, and he has a moment with his friends. And in this instance, well, before he goes to the timeline, he has a moment with Bucky. Then after he comes through the time portal, he has a moment with Falcon. And I was like, the second he goes over there, and the second I saw that shield, I was like, oh shit. I know what's about to happen here. Falcon is going to become Captain America.
Yeah.
What? I thought Bucky was supposed to become Captain
I
America. I
thought-
was
yeah.
waiting the whole fucking time, and I was like, okay, if Chris Evans doesn't want to do Captain America anymore, somebody has to take over the mantle, and what are we going to get? I always thought it was going to be
Well, we get a Winter Soldier and Falcon movie coming up, right? It's like it's on the timeline of things to come out. So
Winter
don't
Soldier and
know.
Falcon?
yeah, like a buddy cop style movie, and it makes sense because like you got the Winter
Oh,
Soldier,
shit,
metal
that's how
arm,
they're gonna
super
fucking
serum,
do it.
and like it makes a lot of sense.
So do you like this?
I honestly thought it was gonna be
Well,
Bucky
be careful.
too, though.
Okay, what?
What do you mean, be careful?
Well, here's the thing. I wanted Bucky to be it, so I'm saying if I say that I don't want Falcon to be it, people are going to call me racist.
they
I
both
was
they both have taken up the mantle of Captain America, though. So I mean, it's kind of
no,
silly.
I was looking
I
forward
thought
to-
it was gonna be Bucky because he's like, here, try this on. He's like, it just doesn't feel
I
right.
thought-
It
I
doesn't
thought
feel like
so.
it's mine. I thought he was gonna hand it off to Bucky, but he's like, no, it's yours.
It doesn't
Take
feel
it.
right.
Yeah.
I was like, okay.
Well, but it
fine.
wouldn't feel right for anybody. So
Yeah,
it would.
of course.
Honestly, I would expect the Winter Soldier the same thing. It doesn't feel right.
I liked it. I liked
so
the
that's
scene a
why
lot.
they turned it up, because honestly, at this point, I think Winter Soldier is his own thing, and
Yep.
he's happy just shooting that big weird gun and
No,
his metal
He's
arm.
a super soldier, and he's like, but I'm gonna be like a normal soldier because I'm only going to shoot bullets.
But I'm trying to think forward. Like, how is Falcon going to be Captain America? Because his powers are so weak. All he has
he
is the
killed a
suit.
ton of people in this movie.
Yeah, but he's not a super soldier. He doesn't
he
have super
stabbed
strength.
people with the wings.
Does that
in this
mean
one?
that motherfucker has to do some drugs? He's gonna have to get injected up with the
Yes.
super serum, or are they just gonna leave him as a normal man fighting as Captain America?
He did
I
a
don't know what
very
happened.
good job in the ultimate battle. Like there's this giant like ogre-looking thing, and he
Yes.
flies into him, and he
fucking
uses
love the
he
battle.
points
I
the
don't
wings
know.
and stabs through the guy's chest.
Just
It
because
was
one
really
moment
cool.
he deserves to be Captain America. The way I looked at it is, it to me in a character moment, he's known Bucky all longer than he has the Falcon.
Sure.
And I thought that, and I had Bucky had earned it, and he'd gone through darkness himself, and so he's been there, and then he's come back. So if he ever is tempted by that again,
But does
he would
Bucky
be a
need
Captain
it?
America? And so, but I'm just trying to figure out, how did Falcon earn it? And but he gets it, and maybe he will earn it in the next film.
To me, it was like Bucky became Nightwing. Okay, and now
Joe likes Nightwing.
yeah,
by the way.
so he's his own. He's his own thing.
He's
now.
his own hero.
Didn't you play Nightwing in that board game and I
Shut up.
destroyed you the other day?
Shut up.
Okay, so y'all are down for Falcon. I'm down for Falcon.
Yeah, he became his
I
own
think
thing.
it's cool.
Like he came to. I was like, at first, I was like, yeah, I'll be okay with this. Like,
Yeah.
oh no, I actually like the Winter Soldier. Let's do a standalone.
I'm
with
down
that.
for that.
Yeah,
And I
that's
didn't
great.
know about the buddy film movie. That sounds pretty tight.
I didn't know
because
about
now
that either.
that
That's why I need to stay off the internet because you ruin like
Yeah.
things like this.
Okay, so next is we have the fact that Vision is dead. Vision does not
He's
come
just dead.
back.
He's
I
dead.
was hoping to see Vision would come back, and then
Really?
yeah, we would. I mean, he's a powerful dude, and she's Scarlet Witch, so has.
What was
I
it-
liked
what-
Dead Vision
What
Scarlet
was the
Witch.
stone he had?
He had the Mind Stone.
How did they get that?
It's in the staff.
pulled
It's
the
in Loki's staff.
Oh, yes, yes.
So
okay,
Scarlet Witch shows up in the final fight, and Thanos,
pissed.
unpowered Thanos, beats the crap out of double weapon Thor. Thor has Mjolnir that he stole from the
Yes.
past, and he has
fucking love that.
Storm, whatever. He kicks the crap at everyone.
There are so many cool things in this film.
Oh,
Joe.
it's for
I'm
sure.
I might
No,
be coming
no,
up.
stop it.
Because
Stop it.
because I just forgot this. We're talking about how cool Scarlet Witch's scene was, but Joe, the whole theater erupted, and I started that. Joe, you got to.
Did you clap?
Did you
Did you
clap?
clap?
I didn't clap.
I will throw shit
Here's
at
what
you.
here's what happened, because Joe's pet peeve is when people clap in the theater. What I
The
did,
movie's
Joe,
not over. Stop fucking clapping. I'm trying to watch the movie.
when Captain America wielded Mjolnir.
Meow meow.
I was the first one to make a noise. I went, my classic. Did you
that-
hear me?
Was that
know
you?
That was me.
God damn it.
I
heard
did it because I
heard
couldn't
it.
help it, because I was like,
that motherfucker.
and what happened after that is I broke the silence,
I thought
and
that
other
was
people
you.
started doing it, and then there was
They did the
clapping,
toddler thing where
and
it's
I
like-
was like, and I immediately thought of Joe way over there. I was like, oh fuck,
I was
Joe's
like,
gonna be
nobody
so
ever-
mad.
Nobody whistles in the movie. It's like, Joe.
That was me. I
It was a
couldn't hold
really
it.
amazing
It was
scene.
an amazing moment.
Yeah, I was
Joe.
like,
that scene alone, 10 out of 10.
But the only person to 1v1 kick Thanos' ass in this whole movie is Scarlet Witch.
Yeah.
She comes
Correct.
out and he's like, I don't even know who you are. And she's like, oh, you will. And she beats the shit out of him.
Well,
it's so bad.
Well, give some credit to my boy Captain America here with the hammer and his shield. He was able to do some fucking shit.
He was able to
But
do some
then
stuff.
I didn't like how he got his fucking ass kicked.
He got his
afterwards.
shield broken. He got his arm cut. She kicks his ass so hard that Thanos has to go, I need you to orbital blast the whole area. And then his
"We still
lieutenants
have
are
our
like,
troops."
he's like, what about our troops? He's like,
Fuck 'em.
doesn't matter. This
But
crazy
did
Scarlet
you
Witch
see-
person.
But did you see he was starting to get back, and that's when Captain Marvel showed up. You don't remember that part where he's
well, I
starting
did. I
to-
remember the part, but he's also on the ground, coughing up, cut up, and he puts the shield on, tightens the strap, and then Scarlet Witch shows up and just like, let me show you how this really is.
She is a
like,
fucking
No, what I'm
badass.
saying is when they're locked in combat, Scarlet Witch, when she's pressing down and he's losing, it looks like if that battle continued, he would have also gotten the upper hand on Scarlet Witch the way he got the upper hand on Captain America if it wasn't for Captain Marvel to come over there.
She has him floating in the air, ripping his armor off, choking him to death, and he's like, I need orbital
Okay,
strikes.
I will secede to the fact that he needed help. Yes.
yeah.
Yeah.
That was the only person to beat him
Yeah,
one-on-one.
which I liked. I thought it was.
I thought
fucking
it was
sweet.
great.
because she is super powerful. She's more powerful in the comics than she is here.
Oh, for sure. And then we got a
Everybody's talking
kind of weird scene afterwards that, like, Captain Marvel finally grabs the gauntlet, and they're like, how? And then Spider-Man's like, how are you ever gonna get that thing over there? And
What are you talking
I saw
about?
that.
Oh yeah.
I
What
saw
do you
that.
mean?
I was like, it just felt so injected. Because, like, Captain Marvel grabs the fucking glove.
Are you
Like,
talking
well,
about when all the female heroes?
you
get
won't
together?
be alone.
You won't be alone. Nothing but women, like all the female characters come up. I was like, that just felt
So?
kind of interjected right there.
There was like 15 female characters and nothing but female characters, and I didn't think it like.
it's. I guess it's. But I don't know. I'm not threatened by women empowerment. If they have their heroes and they were like,
No,
girl
we're not-
power, let's fucking
We're
fight.
not I'm not threatened by it at all, but it was just such a
Like I
Yeah,
said,
but
it just
I
felt so
understand that men's rights
injected.
activists are going to freak out over this
For
fucking
sure.
moment, and they're going to
Yes.
hate it, and they're going to say that this is propaganda, and you get woke, go broke, and all this other stuff that they say with Captain Marvel. Which, by the way, did Captain Marvel go broke?
no made a ton of money.
So what
yeah,
happened
you're on
there
the, you're
with
on the
Get
wrong
Woke
side.
Broke? Because that film did get woke because there was plenty of I'm just a girl and all the like
No
songs
doubt.
and all that,
Yeah.
and then you're not good
I
enough
love
to be
Gwen
a
Stefani.
pilot. You're you know why they call it a cockpit. So there was a lot of
Jesus.
female empowerment in that film, and I just thought that this was a quick visual way to show female empowerment too. But you guys didn't like the scene. You thought it was forced.
I thought it was forced, and I said,
hold on. So when guys are fighting in a unit together, and we could point out many scenes where there's nothing but males fighting together, is that male empowerment?
They didn't make a specific. So like I watched it, and I was like, I don't really like it, but I'm sitting there. Erica was sitting next to me at the end of the film. She goes, all the dudes on the internet are going to hate that scene. And I hated it, too, because it was stupid. And
I'll just play devil's advocate. I was just playing devil's advocate.
I know you were.
Because it was my girl was like, that was fucking stupid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Erica thought it was absolutely terrible.
But it just depends on what girl is watching it, whether they feel. Some girls are like, that's
I really like.
Some girls are like, yeah, let's kick some
ass.
ass.
They did a great scene with the Scarlet Witch. It's like, oh my god, she's a fucking badass. And then like if they would have like just mixed it up, it's like, no, she's gonna be okay.
Right.
Marvel's
it's not the fact that they're women. It's the fact that they are soldiers and heroes themselves. There's no male, female. They're heroes themselves. It could be just mixed. But what's wrong with showing girl power?
It wasn't for.
I don't give a fuck.
It was like 15 female characters that
I
did.
I was like, and I was trying to count. And when I saw it, I was like, wait a minute, was that just all females?
Yes.
And so when I was like, well, then how did they get there? Yeah, okay.
There was literally every person that could like a female character was just like, we're gonna be exactly right here during. And
I thought there were maybe other characters in the background, but no, it's all.
It was like the world is ending, and so everyone should be fighting everywhere, and they're like, all the girls need to be over here in 4 minutes because we're gonna do the girl power scene.
That was just kind of forced, but
it was stupid.
Yeah, they should have just left it with Scarlet Witch. Like,
yeah, she was a badass, and like Captain Marvel was a badass. Like all of the women in this movie were badass, and that's fine.
I really didn't. Captain Marvel didn't do anything in this film to make me like her more. Like I like her just about the same.
Yeah, she's
what
fine.
she did, she was key. She was instrumental. She shows up, but she has this constant thing where it's like, Earth is not the center of the universe. I'm going to go fucking fight. Other worlds are dealing with this too. So other those worlds have their own fucking heroes. You're our hero. You're an Earthling.
Do they?
You fight for Earth.
No,
shut up, Joe. There are other.
They?
Yes, they do. Look it up in the Marvel universe. They got their own fucking heroes. But no, she's going to go over there. And she shows up the very last to blow up this fucking Thanos battleship. And then even though that thing could crash on everybody, even the heroes, but no, it falls safely in the fucking water.
Here's one thing, though. I was expecting Adam to come out, maybe.
Oh, right, because they set that up in the last one.
I really did not want that to happen.
No, they would never say Adam, Joe, because the thing is, he was such a crucial part in the comic book storyline that they're like, they don't want to confuse people. They're going to save that for the future.
I was just curious, because like I know he's mentioned before. I was like, well, maybe he might.
He has what, the soul? Adam Warlock has a soul stone,
I was expecting
right?
some kind of like post-credit or something.
He would eventually get all of the stones himself and form a group around it. Let's talk about that. Who eventually gets all the stones themselves? And this is...
The first person is Hulk, right?
Yeah.
Like the Hulk puts on the glove and he.
Well, let's talk about Hulk. Did you like this new Hulk? I did not like the new Hulk. That was one moment I was like, yes, it does seem like a natural place that he will be the best of both worlds. And I liked it for that. But what I mean by it wasn't the best of both worlds because he wasn't brutal. He seemed depowered, and then he's like, "Oh, I'm gonna," and he's like making fun of his old self, how his old self would Hulk out. He's like throwing stuff, but why?
How
is he
very
doing
derivative,
that?
you know.
But why is he doing that? I don't understand.
Well, they said like you need to pretend to be the real Hulk, like don't act like you're a fake
Hulk.
Hulk
That's
going back
what
in time.
Was. Okay.
Yeah.
So the problem with
he's like smash things. He's like,
I liked the new Hulk for 5 minutes or so.
Right, me too.
And then I was like, okay, great, we're gonna have the best of both worlds. I really like.
But we don't have the best of both worlds.
For sure,
we
didn't.
Sidelined.
Well, he
does not even participate in the final battle.
Well, he's also an idiot too because like he does these experiments with none of them work, right? Like he almost kills Scott Lang.
They technically do work.
Yeah, they do work.
They do work.
Like so Tony Stark says, "I'm not going to help you guys with this time travel shit. I've got a family and I want to be with them." And they're like, "All right, well, there's another smart guy. Let's go to Bruce Banner." And Banner fucks it up.
Fucks everything up. Yeah.
He brings him back as a baby. They do a test. He brings him back as a baby. Brings him back as an old dude. And
funny.
And his
I
shit in his pants and his pee
no,
in his pants.
he peed in his pants. He's like, I know if it's baby.
So he's good enough, but not
man.
quite. But I thought that was fine because Hulk is not as smart. And Bruce Banner is not as smart as Tony. Tony is the smartest, and that's why Tony figures it out.
See, I never thought that Tony Stark is smarter in any way than Bruce Banner.
Okay,
like they're different, right? Because like
in this universe and in the comics, he is. And so he figures out the time travel thing. He comes back later because it bothers him. Pretty much asks permission from Pepper Potts and lets his family know that he's doing it, and they say they support him. And he comes back, and he is the one. Okay, first Hulk gets the gems.
Hulk gets the gems. He snaps his fingers, brings everyone back from the dead. Anyone who had been like ghosted away into ash comes back. 5 years later, it's really awkward. Like they never touched on how awkward it's going to be. Like people had their husbands and wives die for 5 years. Some
That's
of them
something completely separate.
Some people like moved
we do
on.
not need a scene of that, Alex.
It was
that's a
we don't
24-hour
fucking need a
movie
scene
right
of that.
there.
That would be the 24-hour
Yeah,
version.
like
we
that.
don't need that shit. But I'm glad they didn't address that shit. But what I am sad is that it fucks him up, and he doesn't really do hand-to-hand combat with Thanos
Ever.
and gets revenge. Like, because Thanos fucked his ass, messed him up.
Yeah.
And he never gets really revenge. So the Hulk doesn't, a heavy hitter doesn't really get to do that. So that's what I'm saying. If you're a Hulk fan, you might not have liked it as much.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I'm not really a Hulk fan, but I think it was so good.
Okay,
so
then the
really
second
enjoyed
person to
the
get
best.
the gauntlet was Tony. Because it appears, yet after all this stuff, the heroes are in this moment of desperation. They're getting their asses kicked. There's so few of them. And here comes Thanos. He realizes what you're doing. He brings his entire army to destroy Earth. He's like, fuck this
Fucking
place.
great battle.
And it not only did he have his forces, but he also had the forces from the first Avenger, those
He
flying
brought
things.
Squidward.
And
Yeah.
it was just crazy. He had all of his lieutenants, and I was like, they're fucked. There's nothing they can do. And so he starts to get the Infinity Gauntlet back. But because Hulk had done that, all of these portals start to open up.
And then this is another problem that
fucking
like
Doctor
Strange.
doesn't make a lot of sense. Like
Forever.
all of these Asgardians show up, and it's like, where the fuck did they come from? Because they're not supposed to be there. Like he never snapped away any Asgardians. He shot all the Asgardians, and then all of these wizards showed up, and it's like, where'd all these wizards come from?
Half of the half.
That was Marvel Universe's failing that they didn't really show that. They made you believe that all the Asgardians were dead, and I think they didn't want to go in that direction. They never showed you that half of them were still alive.
A quarter of them should be alive.
A quarter of them are alive, and they're on Earth. That's where those Asgardians are. And I guess it's implied that they kept their armor, even though they're living on Earth in that little town.
Yeah.
They have their armor. That's who those Asgardians were. It wasn't Asgardians snapped in from actual fucking...
So there's a scene where like they open, like there's hundreds of wizard portals all opened up, and so all of these sorcerers show up, and it's like, well, who are these sorcerers? Where are they coming from? And then all the Asgardians come in, and then these
from
wizards
the
come
training
in.
grounds.
And then-
that's something I would have glossed.
I thought it
over,
was
but
a
yeah.
badass scene. You didn't like that?
I
was
did.
Like, what fucking... I was like, they're fucked. And then I did a completely... That's the thing that I forgot. I completely forgot that they snap people back into existence. We have other heroes besides these small few heroes here, and I had forgotten. And apparently they were ready for it. That's the only part that I didn't get. And it was because Doctor Strange had already kind of maybe knew that this might happen, and so he kind of made preparations, and he went across the galaxy getting
because
different.
But he
He
took
knew-
30
he-
minutes to like
he
sling
knew-
ring everyone in because the movie depended on it, and like there was a lot of storytelling things.
30
that,
minutes because he's like, hey, get your shit ready. Let's go. We're leaving in 30 minutes.
Yeah.
I'm
I
okay with
guess.
that.
I hate you, Alex.
I mean,
Because
like,
that's a moment you got to
10,
nitpick. Even that
10.
moment, I am coming up to 10.
It was a great
But
epic
no, I'm
battle
not-
scene.
No.
Okay, but anyway,
That's a
so then they
great
fight. But even with all that shit, Joe, Thanos is still able to beat everybody up, even Captain Marvel, even
He is
Scarlet
pretty
Witch,
powerful.
and he puts the fucking glove on, and I'm like, fuck. But right at the last minute, Tony is able to jump over there and somehow take all the gems off. And
well,
I think
because it's no longer the
It's
the
not-
Infinity Gauntlet.
It is
Yeah, it was his
nanotech.
own- yeah, it was
it's
his own
Tony's
thing,
nanotech.
yes.
Yeah.
And so he had stolen them. And that's it for Tony because he's a
Oh.
human being,
He's-
and he has no blood of the god, like a planet or a god planet, like
A celestial.
a celestial, like Star
Or
Lord.
the
Ego,
gamma
yeah.
rays.
And he
Hulk.
snaps, and so half his body's all fucked up, and he's dying, and it's a sad moment because fucking Peter Parker comes over, and now it's the inverse of what happened in Infinity War. And I felt this scene could have been more effective.
For sure.
And I don't know why they went this direction, but it's like Tony didn't even acknowledge. It wasn't enough acknowledgement of Peter Parker there. But the second Pepper Potts shows up, and I guess that would be legit. You would
Yeah,
say
this is
hi to your
fuck-
wife more than you would say hi to
Yeah.
your son or
No,
son character.
He was just happy. He was like,
foster
oh,
son.
I'm glad you're back. This is my wife.
Pepper shows up, and then boy, he's like, he talks a little bit, and then he fucking. dies. So he saves everybody by snapping all of them out of existence. But I don't understand why he couldn't say, well, I'm going to snap them out of existence, but also bring back Gamora, Vision, and
well, they kind of
Black
hand-waved earlier and said,
Widow.
like, what the souls that you trade for the Soul Stone are you can't undo that.
Okay, then what about Vision?
They went too far.
Well, I mean,
And what about the other one?
Yeah.
There's some other people that he could have brought back.
He can't bring back Black Widow.
maybe he only had the power to bring back people that
Because
were trapped in the
Hulk,
Soul Stone
Hulk
or something.
said he's like, I tried to get her back, but it wasn't.
I couldn't
He
bring her
did
back.
his
Yeah.
snap.
Yeah.
And a further thing, why does snapping hurt this? I don't understand that. It's the Infinity Gauntlet. It's supposed to be able to do anything. But it's so powerful to wipe half of existence that it has feedback in not only the gauntlet but also on the person, right?
Yes.
Yeah, yeah.
Huh. I always thought that the Infinity Gauntlet was more powerful than that, and you could just snap and you're fine. But I guess I was wrong. It does have some limits, or you're pushing it to its limit, and it backfires a little bit. So, okay.
No, it's
They
too
use
powerful.
that as a plot
Like,
device.
you can't control everything.
And there's a big funeral scene, and that made me tear up, and it was such a epic sacrifice, and it was such a good moment
only
because
thing
Iron Man started this whole thing. I am Iron Man at the end of the Iron Man, and here he is. I'm Iron Man as he hits the snap and ends his story arc. Tony Stark as Iron Man or Robert Downey Jr. as Iron Man, all that stuff mixed together, and it was emotional for me.
I
And I was
that
like,
too,
one more
but
thing, Joe. Superman died, and they treated it like
this
it
is
was
Marvel.
fucking
This is
nothing.
Marvel.
Yeah.
And when
but
I
that
saw
universe
the way
is
Marvel,
garbage.
when I saw the way Marvel treated Iron Man, I was so jealous.
Maybe you can
So
get
jealous
the
of
Infinity
his
Stone
death.
and be like, hey, let's erase
No,
Justice League.
the Infinity Stone is worthless in the DC universe. I've
No,
seen
see, the thing that I
Darkseid
didn't
has
really-
used the Infinity Stone
the
before,
thing
and
that
it
I
didn't work in the
would have
DC
liked
universe.
at the end is like, hey, Tony Stark died, but let's not forget fucking Natasha over here. Black Widow died too. We can't just forget.
There was a lot of people that
Oh
died.
shit, they did forget about it.
Yeah.
Well, they
Come
kind of had the
on.
touching scene at the end where you've got Hawkeye and
Yeah, but
Scarlet.
Iron Man's more
but they were-
important, Joe.
But they were like doing a whole ceremony for fucking Tony. It was like, look,
There should have been a
we
picture
lost-
of Natasha somewhere.
They did
Yes.
more. They mourned over. They mourned over her. There was an entire scene where Hulk grabs a bench and throws it over the fucking earth.
Oh, right.
like there's
I
a
forgot about that.
Natasha mourning
It's like
scene.
2
There wasn't
seconds.
enough time at that point, I
At
guess,
least-
to do
no,
a funeral.
honestly, at least just put a picture of her or something.
I agree.
For sure, there should have been a little
Yeah,
more.
there
There
should
was
have been
also one
something.
person at the funeral that I didn't recognize. There was this one like
Yeah.
adolescent teenager between Colby and Thunderbolt. I don't even remember what Colby
I think it was
Smulders.
Hawkeye's son.
No, because his
No,
family was
no, no,
his
no,
family
no,
was
no.
over there. It
Yeah,
was at
his-
the
like,
far back
He was
right.
by himself.
But it was cool to see
I don't know who the fuck that
John
was.
Favreau,
Favreau,
the director of Iron Man. Even though he's his own character in the Marvel universe as an agent, it was cool to see him there because it's like these guys started.
Man, fuck Spider-Man Far From Home. Like the Spider-Man Far From Home,
Oh,
keeps
right.
having a bunch of keep putting out trailers and things, right? And we see
You already hate that film before we review
Because
it. I can't
Mysterio's-
wait to see him go off on it. Because if this is the final film in this phase, fuck that film.
Yeah.
This should be the final
for
film in
sure.
this phase.
It
But
should.
but
and
the-
I think you're wrong.
in the-
That
I hope-
article must be wrong.
I hope it's wrong, and I hope that. But in all of the trailers, we see Jon Favreau in Spider-Man: Far From Home, but we don't see Iron Man in Spider-Man: Far From Home. So we kind of knew that Tony Stark wasn't going to make it through. We knew a little bit already, but
Well, we knew their contracts were.
well,
up,
we
and
knew
they
that
didn't
we know
wanna redo
him.
the
We know their
characters.
contracts were up, but. I'm just so disappointed that this movie was advertised at all before Endgame had released, and then they show that Lucky
It's not their
survives.
fault. I
and
think
stuff.
it's Sony. Sony's like, I don't give a fuck.
Yeah. I mean, they're part of the MCU, but they're like,
I
we're a
don't
different
give a fuck.
company, so we don't give a shit.
Yeah, I want my money.
Assholes.
I need my hype.
Fuck them.
Yeah, I agree.
And Mysterio
right.
sucks.
So we had to jump all around there because I realized there's so much gratifying things. I didn't really even talk about that. The Captain America and the hammer. I did a little bit, but it's just a great fucking scene. I just wish he didn't get beat up at the end. I wish there would have been
He got
some
his
other
ass
excuse.
beat with the
I
hammer
know.
and the
I
shield.
know. It
That
should
was
have been
fucking
him
great.
being overpowered by multiple by
sure.
Thanos and the lieutenant. So here's what I'm saying, and the reason why it's a 9 for me, and I am solidifying the 9. No, I wanted to bring it up,
Stop it.
but there's so many different things in there there that it didn't go the way that I wanted, and that's just personal preference, and that's bias, and it should be because it's like I was hoping in these things. And what I'm saying is they fucking nailed it. They goddamn 9. And there was so much potential for this to be a 4, a 5, a very disappointing, and they didn't disappoint. They did not disappoint, but there was just a little bit more in there that I was hoping for to see it happen in a slightly different way. Maybe instead of the epic CGI battle, we would have seen all that I wanted to see if it was just Thanos and the Avengers fighting with maybe just the lieutenants. And there wasn't like a massive fucking battle.
Yeah, I mean, the Asgardians coming in added nothing. The Wakandans coming in added nothing. The Wizards coming in added nothing.
It was an epic moment when they walked in, but you knew you were only going to get small things here and there.
But did you have
imagine that battle smaller and more intimate with fucking Thanos and his lieutenants coming back.
You did get that fucking Thanos fight though.
Yeah,
it was
you
a
did.
Good badass fight.
It was a badass fight. And that's why I'm saying it's not suck. It's still great.
No, yeah,
it's amazing. But it's like, where did the Pegasus come from? Where did these Asgardians with all their shit come from? Where
They're
all these
living
wizards
on
come
Earth.
from? Yeah, bullshit.
All right. So
No, yeah,
is
it
there
was a
anything
great
that we
fight, and
missed?
I fucking love the jokes. Like all the jokes hit for me. I fucking love where I love when Thor's like what was it? Captain America had his hammer. He's like, here, take this one. You take the little one. Switch it up. And it was great. That was fucking epic.
That part, those
and Captain
jokes were
America
funny.
was traveling around time with the hammer too, as a new weapon. That was
like
cool.
you knew. And it was like another callback.
Okay, so there's other scenes that I want to talk about because 3-hour movie. There's a lot.
There's
to
a lot
talk
of
about.
shit. Yeah.
They even got to talk to the fathers of Tony Stark. Got to talk to his father.
Yeah.
That was kind of a cool scene.
They had to wrap him up. They knew that he was dying in this movie, so they're like, we need to wrap up everything.
He got to meet his father, hug his father, and he's like, I really appreciate you, or I love you. Or he didn't say I love you, but he was like, I appreciate what you did for this country. He tried to save face because they're just two guys about the same age or so. Or actually, Tony's a little older than him, I think, at that point. And he got advice from him essentially on to not name him whatever weird name.
Some strange name.
Well, he thought it was gonna be a girl. He didn't even know what it was.
If it was a boy, they were gonna name him some weird name, and he's like, no.
No, well, he didn't know at that point.
Oh.
He's like, how far along is he? He's like, I don't know.
Yeah, but there was a little bit of dialogue there towards the end. And then also Hank Pym, or not Hank, the original the original Ant-Man got some screen time too. Michael Douglas, and that was to get more particles because they had fucked up their mission. It was Tony Stark and Captain America that had fucked up their mission, and not the team that you thought that might not succeed, like Black Widow and War Machine.
Yeah, I mean, this brings up another one of like we didn't talk about how time travel is stupid, but this was one of the other things that like time travel is particularly stupid because like we can only time travel once. It's like, why don't you just time travel to the point where you get more time travel juice, which is in the 70s, because you already know where it is. Time travel there, get more juice, and you can time travel as much as you want.
That's
the whole
what
movie.
I'm telling you. It opens up such a huge can of worms.
For sure. And we didn't talk about it, but
All
like
right.
you said it. You definitely said it. It's like time travel is absolutely stupid, and if you want to poke holes in time travel,
that's
why
it's
it's not a
that
10.
-1, Joe.
That's what,
if they
not
stayed
a
away
10.
from time
Not a
travel.
10.
They did go back to the 70s where the particles
Eventually.
Where the particles
What
were.
I really did like is they kind of even reference current Marvel comics. Well, a shitty storyline that I did not like, but I thought it was cheeky, where Captain America turns evil, and he's like, Hail Hydra.
Hail Hydra, yeah.
They did that reference in there because it turns out that the people that show up, the SHIELD officers that show up to quarantine the fucking Tesseract or whatever, was actually, Hydra at the time, and that's another plot line that they eventually get to, that SHIELD has been corrupted.
Scott's like, how do you not know? They're fucking
they
look like bad guys.
They're Skull and Bones or whatever, Crossbones, that guy, right? And Captain America goes into the elevator with it, and I was like, oh shit, this is like that movie Winter Soldier, right, where he has to fight them all.
I wanted that to happen.
Me too.
And I wanted it to happen too, but it was super clever that he's like, I got this, and they're like, he's a good guy, and he's like, Hail Hydra, and it's Captain America saying Hail Hydra, and they're like, he's on board.
Yeah, you got him. All right.
That was kind of a cool thing, even though it's like Captain America would never Hail Hydra, but he had to do it in that specific instance, and it worked.
Yeah, it was great. Stop it. Stop it. You
What
go
else?
down to 9.
What else, Joe? What other scenes am I forgetting about? We fucking covered.
It's a 3-hour movie. There's a lot of stuff to cover.
Okay, we talked about how we didn't like the Nebula stuff, how it just regurgitates.
Doesn't make any sense.
Gamora was always, trying to find a way to stop her father and never really fully believed in it. So obviously she turns. Why, when Gamora shoots the evil Nebula, does it not immediately kill
Nebula kills evil Nebula.
Nebula.
Oh, Nebula
Because
kills Nebula.
They established in an earlier thing
they're
that
in the same
all
timeline.
timelines are fixed and it doesn't matter
Okay.
what you do.
Yeah,
and
but they're in
I
the
saw
same
it.
time.
hand waving, it's magic.
No, I thought about that too.
Because what was the other
She's
one?
gonna kill
where-
herself now.
You were just playing Mortal Kombat.
bullet. I
Yeah,
was
we were just playing
playing
Mortal
Mortal
Kombat. Yeah,
Kombat.
it's
Johnny
just like
Cage.
Johnny Cage, he gets shot in the face. Yeah.
I was like, son of a bitch. All right. Anything else that we forgot?
I mean, who died in this movie? We got Captain America passes the torch. Tony Stark dies.
The only people that die, Black Widow and Iron
Black
Man.
Widow dies.
Captain America's technically not dead, but
He's
not
90
Captain
plus
America.
years
Well, he's
old.
not gonna fight. What is he gonna put on the
He's
suit?
got a wedding ring and
Oh,
all
my
this other
bad.
shit.
I
yeah.
fucking hate this though. I don't want anybody else to be Captain America but Chris Evans. I'm sorry.
Here's the
but
thing,
here's the
though.
thing. Even if I wanted eventually Bucky to get it, I don't think I would have even liked that. I would have been like, yeah, that's cool, but it's not Chris Evans.
Yeah.
Whoever gets it is not fucking Chris Evans.
You say that, but like Christopher Reeve, and then you're like, no, nobody's gonna do it. Then you finally get
Henry
to
Cavill,
Henry.
Yeah,
You
I
have
thought-
this weird thing
Shut
with
your
that
mouth!
guy that's
He loves Henry.
I know, it's super weird.
I was
No,
trying
it's
to prove
not.
a point. It's not weird.
Yeah,
It's not weird.
No, you like him, but he
Oh, he
really
does.
likes him.
He
Do you have a
does
shrine
really
of him
like
at home?
Yeah, he does.
Maybe.
He
Henry,
does.
if you want to hang out, yeah, I'll buy you a first round.
I don't know how to get this in front of him, Joe. We'll look for a convention with
Okay,
Henry, and
that's
we'll
fine.
see Joe finally freak out.
What if he
like
has a
fan
mustache
girl.
on?
Honestly, no,
Hey, he looks
it's-
better with the mustache. That's why I think he should have gone.
I've never actually.
No DC's
Wait,
talk.
I've never freaked out, but if I saw Henry, I would
You would
probably
freak
freak
out.
out.
All right. So
Don't
what?
touch me.
What
What else? Everybody.
So
comes
Captain
back.
America's still alive. Who dies is Tony's dead. Are we
Captain
ever-
America's 90 years old. He's dead.
Fine. Captain America's
three
no longer
people.
in the universe.
Three
Tony
people.
Stark no longer in the universe. Vision
Natasha.
no longer in the universe. Natasha, Black Widow no longer in the universe.
We got
a prequel.
We got this weird thing with Gamora where like we know that the next Guardians of the Galaxy is going to have Thor and they're going to look for Gamora because that's what the ending of the movie
Oh,
was.
thank you. That is something we forgot. Is fucking the new
Asgardians-
Guardians
no, it's Asgardians
Guardians
of the Galaxy, yeah.
Who's in charge? Oh no, you're in charge. No, yeah, I am in charge. And he scrolls and he's like, yeah, no, you're definitely in charge. Then why are you scrolling? This is my scrolling and it's right here, okay? I thought that was so good. So I'm excited for Guardians of the Galaxy 3 if that's the direction they take with it. James Gunn is apparently back.
Yeah.
And I hope that Thor is in it because if Thor's not in it, I'm gonna be fucking pissed.
No, because like whenever I first saw their chemistry in the first, it's like Christopher Pratt starts talking like,
Why are you? Your
it's
voice
like, oh, look
deeper
at his
than mine now.
muscles. He's
Yeah.
like, well, it's fine. It was just funny.
Yeah.
Nice little
they
banter. I liked
continue
it.
that.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Well,
So-
that's it. That's fucking.
Is there nothing else? So we got that.
Okay, we got to talk about the stinger. What do you think that was at the very end? There's no end credit thing. However, there is a sound of metal.
Originally, I was thinking, oh my God, it's Beta Ray Bill because there was something in Marvel Comics a long time ago where Odin is making, I guess, Stormbreaker for Beta Ray Bill. But we already know that Beta Ray Bill's lived and gone, so I imagine it's just the Tony Stark in the cave making his Iron Man thing, right? Because
And
he's just sitting
Odin's
there.
no longer a part of. Oh,
Well,
you
yeah.
think it's a send off to Iron Man?
Yeah, but I
Interesting. never thought about
the first
that.
thing I thought when I hear like the sound of blacksmithing is like, oh man,
That's
Beta
Iron
Ray.
Man.
It's like, oh no, it's not Beta Ray Bill, it's Iron Man. This sucks.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it was just a send off.
They're bringing it like all the way back to the beginning, and that's how we started. But I was kind of like, I still want to see Beta Ray Bill.
Does Iron Man start with that? Ding, ding.
He's
No.
he's in the cave in
He's in the
Afghanistan,
cave,
right?
yeah.
Making
But does that how it starts? Like the
No.
opening
Oh,
scene?
no, no,
That
no,
would have
no.
been crazy.
No.
No, okay. All right. Well, yeah. I guess we could talk a little bit about where do you think it's going to go next. I'm excited.
we're going to Italy. We know where we're going next because the next chapter is they go to Italy and this idiot Mysterio shows up, and I hate this movie.
Spoiling
All right.
everything, Alex.
No. He's not spoiling it. It's
Because he's looking into the future.
I'm not looking at the
Going
future.
online, he's like, what other movies are coming out?
They have trailers. You did a trailer reaction for them.
But I didn't know that was gonna be like. He's
Relax, you too. Okay. Here's the thing. Where is it going to go next? We know it's going to go down. I think it's going to trend downward because I am not that excited about Far From Home. Because
For sure not.
I know. Here's the thing. I know exactly what's going to happen in that movie. You know exactly what's going to happen.
Yeah.
Now, if it doesn't go exactly how we think it's going to happen, then I will up the score on that.
For
and
sure.
we'll
I'll be
very
thrilled.
surprised.
I
We'll be
want it
thrilled.
to surprise me.
But it's too predictable for us. I am wondering, will we ever see Tony again? Will we ever see Captain America again in their original? Because I wanted them to end it in a way where they stayed in their timelines. Not that Captain America got super old and he's fucking done and Tony Stark is fucking dead. I was hoping they would do this thing where they would, and I thought they were about to do it with the Sorcerer Supreme, and she was like, "Our time stones need to stay in these things," and it's like, "All right, we need to find a way to get them all back." So I thought what they would do is, we have no time. Tony brings the stones back, and then Captain America brings the stones back to his time, and he's like, I got to stay behind. And he gets to be with his girl, and Tony gets to be with his family in that particular time, or whatever. I don't know. It didn't really work in my head. No. But you said, and then eventually they can come back from those timelines where we get Tony Stark from a different timeline in addition to the new Iron Man, and then the new Captain America, Falcon, gets to fight alongside Chris Evans' Captain America from the other timeline. But they didn't do that.
But I was still
happy. So now I'm not as excited about future phases.
Yeah, but I think that if we consider, like, I'm going to consider this the end of the saga. Like, as of right now, even though that Kevin Feige says that it's not. For me, this is the close.
And it's allowed to be 22 fucking films. Let these motherfuckers rest. Let them do something else. Fine. We'll never see Robert Downey Jr. again as Iron Man, and we'll never see Chris Evans again as Iron Man.
I'm gonna watch Kiss
We
Kiss Bang Bang
will
tonight.
see Thor again or we will see Chris Hemsworth as Thor.
Well, he said that he will play Thor forever, as long as they want him to play Thor.
No,
it's like
as long as also they do the thing, because he got bored with Thor and he's thinking about quitting.
Yeah, because
really?
but
it was
two fucking films are terrible.
I forget his name.
Yeah,
Taika.
he's fucking amazing.
Waititi.
Yeah, he's like, as long as that guy's on board, I'm on board.
Yeah,
or that style.
He makes great stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
A lot of Concords.
Well, it's a sad and depressing thing, and now I'm going through the stages, right? Came off the high. Now it's been about 2 hours after we've done this review, and it's like, fuck. I'm gonna buy all them DVD sets. What does that cost? $500 to get all these goddamn things?
Just
It's 22 films. 22 times 20 is what?
Yeah.
It's $500.
Or
400
Or you could just get the Disney subscription.
Oh yeah. Disney subscription.
Snap! You get it all.
But don't Netflix hold the rights to some of these for a little while? And you know what, Joe?
Disney.
If with the fucking Mandalorian, I was gonna buy the Disney subscription just for the Mandalorian. And I can't wait to talk about the Mandalorian, but they need to put out some goddamn trailers. That's it. That is it for Marvel, and that's a perfect send-off because you're right. That's the next phase. Disney is going to be doing television shows based on not only Star Wars, but I guarantee you the Marvel universe as well. All right?
No Marvel
Thank you,
TV
guys.
shows.
Yes, it's happening. They were good on Netflix.
It's been bittersweet. I fucking loved it. We've had a great journey. Just as
I'm glad I was
It's
alive
not
for
over
it.
yet. We still got to go to Italy
No,
with Spider-Man and that.
Harry Potter's over. This saga
Joe needed
over.
something new after Harry Potter.
I did. And Lord
Big
of the
Harry
Rings
Potter
is
fan.
over.
No, Lord of the Rings is coming to Amazon.
No, that doesn't
A
count.
new Lord of the Rings.
Like,
Game of Thrones.
Game of
it's
Thrones
almost
is
over.
Fine.
Everything is over.
Everything's ending this year, guys. Thank you so
Yeah.
much for watching. This video is now ending because it's probably 2 hours
What
long.
about Star Wars?
Thank you very much. We'll see you
That
on the
ended
next
long time
Angry
ago.
Joe Show. God damn it. Buy the fucking shirts and hit the fucking sub button in the fucking...